News Radio 620 WTMJ. I'm not going to tell you his name, but he's real. He's a real person. And I want to read you some of the things that he has said, and you tell me what your reaction is. Freedom. It has been 234 years since the founders fought for their freedom, and we now find ourselves in an entirely new struggle for our freedom, and that's incredibly sad. I remember the social unrest of the 60s, the Vietnam War protests, and the civil rights struggle. I remember the Watergate hearings in the 70s, Nixon's resignation, the oil embargo, gas lines, stagflation, Jimmy Carter's malaise speech, 21.5% interest rates, and the misery index. And then we experienced a breath of fresh air as Ronald Reagan's principled policies ushered in 2 decades of peace and prosperity. With a 28% top tax rate for a brief period of time, we were actually 72% free. Then came 9/11 and our world changed. But throughout my life, with all that I have witnessed, it is not until this moment in time that I actually fear for my own personal freedom. In about 5 minutes, I'm going to introduce you to this guy because he is going to play a major role this year in Wisconsin. Your reaction, 799-1620.
He grew up in a family and time and place where one of the greatest compliments you could give a person, regardless of what that person did or who that person was to say that he or she was a hard worker. It's a core principle that's guided his life. As soon as he was old enough, he started mowing lawns and shoveling driveways to earn a few extra dollars. He delivered papers and caddied at the local golf course. He even helped bale hay at his uncle's dairy farm. He started paying taxes at the age of 15 when he began working at a Walgreens grill. He started as a dishwasher but quickly rose through the ranks to become night manager before reaching the age of 16.
You're listening to News Radio 620 WTMJ. Did you get a sense that this is a different voice than we generally hear in politics? There's something a little different about this guy? I'm now jumping later in the remarks. Even after 9/11, with the anthrax scare, tightened airport security, and the debate over the Patriot Act, I always felt that my personal freedom would be protected. I could trust that our constitutional checks and balances would work. But then a not-so-funny thing happened on the way to the 2008 election. The same liberals who had torn our country apart in the 60s now saw their chance. In the words of Rahm Emanuel, a crisis is a terrible thing to waste, and they didn't. Are you hearing anything here? On the AccuNet Mortgage toll-free talk line, 1-800...
He met his wife of 32 years, Jane, in his senior year of high school. He lived at home and worked full-time during most of his college career, paying 100% of his college expenses. Because of his work ethic, instead of being in debt, he actually graduated from college in 1977 with $7,000 in the bank. He married Jane on August 20th that same year. He went to work at a company called Jostens as an accountant. He attended night school to earn an MBA. He completed the coursework, but never wrote his final thesis. Another opportunity had called.
And again, I'm reading from a copy of his speech. We all need to have a better understanding of economics and how the free market system works. It is amazing that so many people would rather put their faith in one all-powerful government to protect them against the highly dispersed power of thousands of individual businesses. And yet, some people fear businesses more than government. That's crazy. Business doesn't control America, and increasingly out of touch. An isolated bunch of politicians and bureaucrats do. Did you get a sense that this is a different voice than we generally hear in politics? There's something a little different about this guy?
Well, he tells the truth.
Yeah, well, that's kind of nice, isn't it? Bill from Pewaukee here on 620 WTMJ.
I have to agree with everything that guy said.
They moved to Wisconsin in 1979 to start a business called Packer with Jane's brother Pat. He was the accountant and a machine operator. He traded 12-hour shifts with Pat for most of the first year until they had trained other operators. Then he hit the road and started to sell. With the help and dedication of the fine people he had the privilege of working with, Packer has grown from a company supplying a single customer to the largest producer in the world of a specialty plastic used in medical device packaging and high-tech printing applications. Packer sells its products around the world. In fact, one of the largest export markets is China. The folks at Packer are proud to say they don't export jobs, they export plastic.
Here's more. This person I'm introducing to you. A few corporations did abuse the public trust and their fiduciary responsibility, and they should pay the price. But it is the government that has maxed our credit card, and it is the government that is imperiling our financial future. Is it too strong a statement to say that we've been lied to? Folks, we just cannot let the politicians get away with stirring up this kind of class envy and warfare. We need the producers of America to be incentivized to achieve their maximum potential. This is what made America great. don't let the politicians and the trial lawyers kill America's golden goose. I will tell you that with the exception of Paul Ryan, I don't recall hearing that kind of rhetoric, that kind of principled defense of the free market from a Wisconsin politician in many, many years. U.S. cellular calls are free, 799-1620.
In 1983, their daughter Carrie was born with a serious medical condition. The finest healthcare system in the world saved her life. Family became the most important thing in his life. Everything else is secondary, it still is. The business grew, and so did his family. Jenna was born in 1985, Ben in 1988. Their golden retriever Bailey joined the family in 1994. Their children attended both public and parochial schools. All three went to UW-Madison. Carrie and Jen have graduated. Ben soon will with a degree in economics. He'll probably work on the campaign, helping to connect with younger voters. It's their future that's on the line. His quiet but extensive work within his community has made a real impact. He's never done it for show, but simply to lend a helping hand, a value he learned from his parents. He's always enjoyed the simple things in life, the outdoors, fishing, hiking, camping, Packer and Badger games, rec league, softball and basketball, folk music, guitar playing, and did I mention fishing? And always, his family is with him every step of the way. His work and his family have defined him. They are who he is. He's my brother and my best friend.
Let me read you one more excerpt from this speech. We need to field conservative candidates at all levels of government, from school boards to the presidency. We need candidates who will design their campaigns to educate the public instead of simply smearing their opponents, and we need citizen legislators instead of politicians. Better yet, we need citizen legislators who will tell us the truth. I think this is going to be the next United States Senator from Wisconsin. And there's a lot of buzz about his candidacy. Most people do not know who he is. I was reading you the prepared remarks from Ron Johnson. He is a very successful businessman from Oshkosh. Here is a guy who comes to this race knowing who he is, with a really deep sense of freedom and the free market and our place in history. When I read through his speech, I thought, you know what? This guy can really be the real deal.
So today, I am here to say, duty is calling. And it is calling each and every one of us.